Hi, good evening, everyone. It's Thursday night, Erev Shabbos, Leil of Shabbos. I wanted to say over part of the shiur that we were going to do today. We didn't have a session. We only had two of the four chevra available, which is fine. So there's going to be, shiur 5 is going to be in two sections, 5a. Maybe I'll record 5b tomorrow or Motzoi Shabbos. And basically what we're going to do today is going to do the Mishnah on Kuftez Zayin Amid Aleph to Kuftez Zayin Amid Beis. We'll do the tour in Beis Yosef. That was the beginning of Sif Tes on Pei Zayin, and the Mechaber in Sif Tes. The next year will be going to. There's a long Rashi on that Mishnah, the Dibra in the Gemara on Kuftez Zayin Amid Beis. Dibra Maschal Harei. We'll define Davar HaMaimid, and we will define Nat Bar Nat, and then do the Shulchan Aruch on Yud and Yud Aleph then. So today we're just doing Sif Tes, the Mishnah, the Tur Beis Yosef, and the Mechaber, Taz and Shach and Sif Tes. So let me just give you as an introduction, right? Some words. Keva, you might have seen this as you learned the Mishnah. Keva is the fourth stomach. An animal, the cow has four stomachs, and it transfers the food between different stomachs, different levels of digestion. So the fourth stomach of a ruminant animal, which is like a cow that has these multiple stomachs, right? That's called the keva. Or keva is the skin of the keva. Okay. So in the times of the Gemara, there were two ways to make cheese. One way is to use enzymes. We've spoken about this rennet idea. And the best source for rennet was the or hakeva, the walls of the fourth stomach of the ruminant animal. So you place it into milk, you take the or, meaning you shech the animal. It's a kosher animal now. You take the inside of the animal, which is the or of the fourth stomach, okay? And you drop that into milk, and no heat at all, and nothing like that. And its enzymes would act as a catalyst to make cheese, meaning the milk is going to now become cheese with the added enzymes that come out of the fourth stomach's skin, the kevas, and the keva, the or hakeva. The other way to make cheese was to allow the calf to nurse fully, and then shech the calf before the milk gets fully digested. So the milk is now in the animal itself, and right as soon after it consumes the milk, the calf, you now go ahead and shech the calf. So the calf is kosher, and everything inside is kosher as well. You have milk that hasn't been absorbed yet, right? And it's not been digested yet, but the milk is enough in the animal that it absorbs the enzymes from the actual wall of the keva itself. So there's a natural way of doing it, which is way number 2, or the unnatural way, which means take the actual or hakeva of a dead animal that's kosher shechted animal, and put it into the milk. When you add, now going back to the idea when you have the calf nursed fully, and you then shecht it, and you take the not yet digested milk from the inside of the fourth stomach of the calf, right? When you add this partially digested milk called chalav keva, right, to the vat of milk, it acts as a catalyst to make cheese. So in Sif, Tes, and Yud, we're going to discuss the more natural way with the calf milk, the milk inside the calf, which we just described. And then we'll discuss the first method of taking the actual or hakeva, and we'll see that in Sif Yud Aleph. Okay, so the question is going to be, are we allowed to cook this partially digested milk with meat? Does it have the din of milk, or does it lose its status as milk, and it is paref? Okay, so the Mishnah in Chulin. Let's read the Mishnah. Mishnah says the following. Kevas nachri v'shel nevela. You have the milk in the stomach of an animal, of a guy, or in the stomach, you find it in the stomach of an animal which is an avela, right? The animal who is not shechted properly, so it's called an avela, and everything inside is aser. So there's milk inside that animal when you shecht it, asura, right? It's aser. Hamamid be'or shel keva kshera. If somebody, we call mamid, we're going to say here, he curdled milk with the skin, meaning he used the skin as the enzyme and the catalyst. The word mamid means to establish or set up. And here they're using the word curdled. You cause the curdling of the milk into cheese. It's by the catalyst that makes the milk into cheese. That's the maimid. Hamaimid bor shel keva kshera. But if somebody takes the milk with the skin of the stomach of an animal that had hashchuta shel keva kshera, meaning the keva come from a shechted animal, so everything inside the animal is kosher. But you took that keva, the fourth stomach, and you put it into the milk to create the catalyst, the enzymes to make cheese. And yeshmanos and tanarei asura. Right? What happens if it imparted its flavor to the milk? It is forbidden, which means if the or hakeva somehow imparted flavor into the milk, we all know what that means. That means tam ke'ikr, and it would make it aser. When do you know whether there's tam or not? You need shishim kenegod, of course, that's a normal thing. Then it's aser. Okay. Next, harizosur kshera shiyankim and atrefa. You have a kosher animal that suckled from a non-kosher animal. So now you shech this kosher animal and you find the milk not yet digested in the kosher animal. Is it kosher or not? Because it came from a camel. It came from camel's milk or something of that nature, right? So what is the halacha? So the milk. It says like this: or treifa shiyankim min akshera. Or you have a treif animal, like a cow. No, I'm sorry, like a horse or a camel, that got milk from a kosher animal, from a cow, right? What is the halacha? So the first one is kshera shiyanka minatreifa kevasa asura. The keva is asur, okay? The milk is forbidden because the milk in there is forbidden. What about the other way around? Yanka, treifash, yanka minakshera, kevas muteres. That which from a kosher animal, the milk that's collected inside, mibnei shekonus b'meyeha, it is mutter. That milk is considered mutter. That is the Mishnah. Okay, review it over a few times. I also ask you to go through the Gemara a little bit as well. Okay, so again, a kosher animal that suckled from a treif animal, the keva is also. A treif animal that suckled from a kosher animal, the keva is mutter, because the milk, which is now part of the keva, is just collected in the stomach. Okay, so the Gemara asks like this. The Gemara says like this. The halacha is that both a kosher animal that suckled from a treif animal and a treif animal that suckled from a kosher animal is mutter because it's pirsha balma, it's only waste, which means that you don't consider the milk that came from that the kosher animal suckled from a treif animal, that milk now in the kosher animal's stomach that you shechted now properly, you don't consider that like treif milk from the original source. It's considered pirsha ba'alma, only waste. Pirsha literally means it's separated, which is considered waste, right? Which seems to be totally against what the Mishnah said. The Mishnah said that harezu asura. Hopefully you understand that's the contradiction of the Gemara brings that. The Gemara and the Mishnah have a contradiction. I'd like to read to you from the Tur on Sif Tes. The Tur says, Chalav shenimtza b'keva. Now you have milk that's inside a keva, right? Ledas revilfis, according to the Rif, eino chalav umutar levashel bo basar. You find milk, not milk in the kachol, which is where the udders are, but you find milk that had been consumed by this animal. Let's call the animal Elsie. Elsie has just been shechted 100% properly. Inside the stomach, you find milk. Not the milk in the udders. That's a whole separate halacha somewhere else. That's real milk. But this milk, says the Rif, that you found inside, it's not considered chalav, and you're allowed to cook in it as well. Okay? Marasai and other things, that's a separate issue, but it's mutter levashabo. I feel a bit soul shabbat. Even that which is liquid, it hasn't become coagulated, meaning that milk that's now in the fourth stomach may very well become congealed. I'm sorry, not coagulated, congealed, which is hardened, congealed into cheese, right? But we're saying that he says that no matter what's found in there, that's considered not cholav at all, and it is mutter. Chen kasav Rambam, says the Tur. Rashi asru. Rashi says it's aser. V'kasav shu cholav gomer, and he considers it's cholav gomer for any situation. Afilu hakarishba kol shegen hatzol. Even that which is congealed, and of course that which is liquid and is still in the liquid form. That's a diametrically opposed shitas of the Rif and Rashi. Rabbeinu Tam chilik hakorosh shaba inu cholav. He says that which is coagulated, congealed. Is eno cholav. It's not cholav. Aval tzolul cholav. That which is tzolul is cholav. That which is liquid is considered cholav. So let's read the part of the Beit Yosef. The Beit Yosef says the following. Again, the Beit Yosef is the Mechaber. His writing comments on the Torah. Cholav and imtza bekeva ladas harif eno cholav. This is the beginning of Sif Tes in the Beit Yosef. Kvar kasafti b'simin pei aleph. Right? Sheharif gores v'maskana the perakal basar. Why did the Rif? Why was he so makil? Why are we so lenient? Because his girsa in the Gemara on Kuf Tezayin Amud Beis is the kshera shiyanka min hatreifa mamidim bekevasa the kol shkein treifa shiyanka min hakshera mishum the cholav hamechunas bekeva pirsha balmehu. Right? He sees the Gemara there, right, and he says it's all considered pirsha ba'alma. There's no difference if the suckling animal was the kosher animal from a treif animal, or the treif animal suckled from the kosher animal. It's considered pirsha b'alma, just waste, and whatever you find inside the stomach of the shechted kosher animal or the killed non-kosher animal is considered pirsha b'alma, waste, and it's not considered cholav. Ulefichach kasav sham b'shmaitza. That's why the Rif writes in his teachings the kachol. The b'shmaitza de kachol, the hadatanya keva shabashla bechelva. You have a keva that got cooked with its own milk in it. Asura kodem chazora nishnes. When whatever the Rif wrote on Daf Kuf Tesamid Beis in the Gemara, which talks about a keva, the stomach which was cooked with its own milk, the milk that happens to be found inside it. Right? He calls that asura. That was before. He taught that before he was chayzer, and he learned this Gemara on Kuf Tezayin to see that it's considered a waste product and not chayev and not considered milk at all. But now, ha'ifsika, the psak hilchasa, the psak halacha behedya, clearly the mamidim bekevas nevela the pirshehi. You see in the Gemara it says you could be mamid in the keva of the nevela. You take milk inside and you put it inside the keva of the nevela, or you use the keva as the catalyst. It's mutter. That's going to be halacha. You'll see the halacha test, halacha yud in yalaf. V'nira shehu mefarish. And so what is the Beis Yosef saying? Where did the Rif get this kula from? His understanding and reading of the Gemara, the end of Kuf Tezayin and Aleph. You want to bring a question from the way the Rif paskins by keva shabashla bechalva asura and Kuf Tes. He was chayzer from that. Okay. What does the Rif mean? What does the Gemara mean by pirsha balmu? It's simply a waste product, right? Hainu lomar dinofik le mitoris ochel. It is no longer considered food. The chashiv kaparesh. It's considered like waste. V'tinofes. Tinofes is like something that's dirty, that's useless. So that's the Rif's that's the Beis Yosef's understanding of the Rif. You can look it up. I did not look it up, but you can look it up. It's Halacha Tesvav, Perik 9, Tesvav. Halacha Tesvav in Machalos is the Rambam. Avol Rashi in Agoras Maskana. Why does Rashi argue go the other way? Because he doesn't pass in the Maskanas HaGemara in Kalabasar, like we'll learn that Rashi inside next year, which is the Dibra Maskal Harezu. You can go through it if you like on your own. He learns like this. Kshera shiyanka, he doesn't learn in the maskana. Kshera shiyanka matrefa dahike vasasura. Right? He doesn't say the words that kshera shiyanka minatrefa that the Gemara says is mutter, that the Rif learns. Those words kshera shiyanka minatrefa are not included in the Gemara's text, where the Gemara is matir this milk. It can't be milk that includes a kosher animal that's suckled from a treif animal, and now you shechted the kosher animal and you found the milk in the fourth in the fourth stomach, that you can use it. Meaning the reason why the Rashi goes so to the opposite of the Rif is based on those 4 words in the Gemara that he does not have that girsa. He says the words Ksheira, Shiyonkum, and Atrefa are not part of the Maskonas HaGemara. When the Gemara is matir, it's not matir Ksheira, Shiyonkum, and Atrefa. That is how the Beis Yosef explains Rashi. V'chein idas Haran. Rabbeinu Tam Mekayim is Hagirsa. He says the girsa of the Gemara is correct. So why does he say that Korosh is aser, that Korosh is mutter, is not cholav, but tzolol? Again, Korosh means congealed, which milk. It's starting to become a little cheesy, right? But clear, liquid milk is cholav. Congealed milk is not, but liquid milk. Ela shemachalik ben tzolol lekorosh. The Rabbeinu Tam makes a distinction between liquid and congealed. Shekol shehu tzolol adayin shem cholav alav. If it's liquid, it's milk. It looks like milk. It walks like milk. It talks like milk. It's called milk. That's why you have the Gemara on Kuf Tes that says, keva, the fourth stomach of an animal that was cooked with its own milk, the milk that it suckled on, that's found in the stomach, not in the udder, but milk is found in the stomach. Therefore, if you cook it together, if you don't drain out the milk that the animal had drunk from this morning, and you cook now the keva, it's aser because that's liquid and it's literally cholav. V'hadi iskina isikna diksheira shiyanka min atrefa kevasa muteres. The language of the Gemara, which the Rif says makes this totally mutter, that a kosher animal that nursed from a treif animal, the keva is mutter, that which is found in the keva is mutter. Why is that mutter? Because, right, the Mishnah says, because it's cholav hamechunas ba, it's cholav that's collected in it. The Gemara says, Pir Shabalmi, it's just waste, it's not considered cholav. Explains the Rabbeinu Tam, this is the words of the Beis Yosef and the Rabbeinu Tam. Hainu dafka b'cholav hakorosh shabo. What? That's only by cholav hakorosh that it is kosher. It's considered Pir Shabalma. Shekiven shenikrash yotza mitoras cholav, says the Rabbeinu Tam. Once it's congealed, it no longer has a din of cholav, and v'havi Pir Shabalma, it's just waste. Okay. Right? And then Tosfos, it says, "V'kosva Tosfos sham v'osa korosh lefi dvarav," according to Rabbeinu Tam, that which is congealed, afilu nimlach bitoch hakeva mutter. Even if you salted it, you take the keva, and it has inside not liquid milk, but it has inside congealed milk, which is parish ba'alma by the Lashon HaGemara. And Rabbeinu Tam says the Tosfos that then if you go ahead and you take this keva and you salt it, right? Salting could be a non-doraisa, but a rabbinic cooking activity. It's not considered aser to salt the keva without draining the congealed milk inside, but only if it had liquid in it, you'd have to get rid of it. We'll see about nimlach, the keva, salting the keva without draining it. We'll see that a little bit later. That is the tour and the Bet Yosef. Very good. So let's review the three terutzim to our kasha. Seems to be the Gemara ends up saying it's mutter, the liquid, that the milk that's found in the stomach of a shechted kosher animal that suckled from a treif animal, that it's mutter, which is contradictory to the Mishnah. So the Rif and the Rambam rejects the Mishnah's psak. Therefore, we no longer consider milk found in the stomach as true milk, even if it's tzolol, clear, and it's mutter to cook with meat. And the reason that we no longer consider it milk is because once it begins to be digested, we consider it pir shabalma and is no longer milk. I wonder if does that mean 30 seconds after it suckles, you take it and you shecht it? I don't know. But, it's there a few minutes even, it's not considered milk anymore once it starts to be digested. Rabbeinu Tam says the Mishnah refers only to tzolol, clear, liquid, only to liquid, not clear, liquid. And the Gemara refers to korosh, to that which is congealed, that means the Rabbeinu Tam saying it's really what? It's really korosh, means it has changed already, right? Etc. Therefore, tzolol is aser with meat, but korosh is mutter. And Rashi did not have the words of the Gemara quoted above. Therefore, even cholav korosh is aser to cook with meat. So we'll see now that the Mechaber is going to bring down the Rif and the Rambam, and as Stam, and the Rabbeinu Tam as the Yesh Omrim, right? And the Ramah is going to hold like Rabbeinu Tam, and the Rashal, I believe it's quoted in the Shach, is going to talk about the Rashal is going to hold like Rashi L'Chumra. Pei Zayin. Okay, I may not remember to read my note here, so I'm going to say it now ahead of the Mechaber Ramah, right? The Sfardim, right, have the Sfardim lahalach lamaisa. Sfardim hold based on a shach in Pei Aleph Yud Daled. Remember, because that's where they talk about the keva and etc. We see from the Beis Yosef that the Mechaber holds like the Stam, which is the Rif and the right. This is Machlokes. It's like this. I should say. When the Mechaber says Stam and then a Yesh Omrim, does he mean that Stam, he doesn't quote anybody, he just says this halacha, and that's the halacha you have to follow? Or when he says a Yesh Omrim, he really wants you to follow the last one, which is that's why he said it last. He could have said either one as first or second, right, etc. So according to the Shach, it says we see from the Beis Yosef that the Mechaber holds like the Stam, right? Because the base, right? The Kaf HaChaim says that Sfardim should follow the Yesh unless there is a Hefsid Meruba. Okay, they should be more Machmir, like Rabbeinu Tam, which is the Yesh Omrim, right? And of the Mechaber, unless there's a Hefsid Meruba. The Ashkenazim, Chachmas Adam and the Yad Ephraim, right? Quote, say Paskin that the Cholav Korosh is mutter in a Hefsid Meruba, which is the Shita of Rabbeinu Tam, like the Ramah. Okay, let us look at Halacha Tes. Okay, I'm doing the Mareches HaShulchan. It's on page Reish Men Gimel. Cholav and Imtzu B'Keva. You found milk inside the fourth animal after you shechted this kosher animal. Eina Cholav. The Mechaber says it's not considered Cholav. Umutal Vashbo Basar Afilu Tzol Shaba. You're allowed to cook it with meat, even the liquid part of it, the Tzol Shaba. This is the Tur B'Shem the Rif, the Rambam, Perak Tes Michos Mechol Zasuras, Halacha Tes Vav, and the Shach says in Chav Daled, Eino Chalav Hatam. What's the reason? Once it's in the keva, it's considered separated, and it is considered like something tinufis, which is like disgusting, etc. And in the note on the bottom, the Mechaber of the Sefer writes in Lamed Zayin, the note Lamed Zayin on the Shach, Choshev kiparish v'tinofes, rotzalomar ta'aftenosin tam l'shvach. Even if there would be the keva, right, was the meat would be nosin tam l'shvach, and it's a davar hamaimid. I'm sorry. You find this liquid according to the Rif and the Rambam inside the fourth behema, the fourth stomach of the behema. Even if the meat would give the there's a no saint tam l'shvach here, either between the keva, the milk to the keva to the milk, who davar hamaimid, and you have a davar hamaimid here, which there's no bittul. We'll talk about that next week for next year. That's something which is considered a catalyst to change the form of something like rennet or things of that nature. A davar hamaimid is not bottle at all. Afilu be'elef lo bottle. So there's no din in bittul here. Afilu hachi kimlu, who we established, the Chazal established, the nafik mitaras chalav. I understand that there's no bittul here. Right? And it might even be no sintam. And no sintam, we said, there's a problem. There's no shishim. And I feel about elef lo bottle because of davar hamaimid. But here we're not talking about milk. The nafik mitoras chalav. It's not called milk. Lo havi elo kapir shabalma. That is the Pri Megadim on the Shach. And continues the Mechaber. The yeshmis she'oser. And he quotes Tosas Dir Matzal Hachi, V'Rosh Rabbeinu Tam, V'Chein Noagim, and he says the Ramah, that's how we should be noheg. Let's look at the Taz on Sif Katan and Zayin. V'Yesh Misha Omer, Perush B'Tzalul Dafka Oser. Only if it's liquid, V'Lo B'Karash, Kedas Rabbeinu Tam, B'Tosas Dir Matzal Hachi, Chulin Kefto Zayin. Chein Pasuk Ramah, The Svirle de Korush Havi Kiporesh. Korush, congealed milk into a little bit of cheese, and is no liquid. Havi Kiporesh is considered waste. V'ulam HaMarshal, though, right? I mentioned the Marshal argues and says he holds like Rashi. He says the Marshal, where B'Sifro Yamshel Shlomo, or Shlomo Kluger is a Marshal. His Marshal is his sefer on Psak, and his Perush on the Gemaras is called Yamshel Shlomo, and Perik Shmini Dechul and Siman Kuf Zayin. Oser Afil B'Korish Kedas Rashi Shom. He answers like Rashi that even Korish is Oser in this behema, meaning the Machmir Af B'Korish Lach Shivu Kecholov. That's considered Cholov as well. Ki mi yodea ma'u shir hakrisha. Who knows at what point does the congealing of the milk consider it no longer no longer milk at all, no longer cholav, that it's changed so much that it's no longer cholav. Listen, if something becomes, let's say, like wood-like, right, decayed like wood, it's also not ochel anymore. So we're saying the milk also is not like ochel. So he tain is the marshal. How do we know when that level is crossed? The efsher the dafka b'korish gomo. Maybe it's completely congealed below lachluchas cholav without any moisture. Not liquid, moisture of the cholav, yeshlach shivu keparish. Maybe then it's only called waste. V'oiker karashi, and therefore he holds the ikers like Rashi. Okay, he's just quoting you the Marshal. So you have the three Machlokas, the Mechaber Ramah, the Marshal. Mechaber is more maker like the Rif and the Rambam, and he brings the Yesh Osrim like Rabbeinu Tam, and Ramah says we should paskin like that, and the Marshal brought down by the Taz does not hold like that. Let's read the Shach in Sivkat and Chaf Hey. Starts in the bottom, the last line of the Shach in page Reish Mem Gimel. B'yesh misha oser perish b'tzolel. What is the Ramah and the Rabbeinu Tam Shita? That b'tzolel, that's oser. Kimavur le'el simen pei aleph sif vav. V'al zeh kosav Ramah v'chein nogim. Hainu le'asor b'tzolel lahatir b'korosh. That korosh is mutter. Tzolel is aser. Umashme me'aramah b'toras chatos. The Ramah in his other writing, Toras chatos. De'af lichatchila mutter b'korosh. That even lichatchila, the congealed stuff inside the animal's stomach is mutter. Ach b'tzolel sirlei dafil b'di'evid aser. So he says, tzolel is completely aser because it's cholav. Korosh is no longer considered cholav, and therefore it's completely mutter. V'nir lechora de lechatchila. Now the Shach's going to argue on the lechatchila de b'yevet. V'nir lechora de lechatchila aser af b'korosh lochlo. He wants a taina, says the Shach, we should follow the rule where, even though it's mashma from the Toras Chatas, the opinion of the Ramah, that it'd be totally mutter to use this congealed stuff, milky stuff that comes from inside the animal's stomach. He says we should be b'korosh. You should be makbid not to do it lechatchila, to cook it. To eat it, in basar, mishum maras ayin. Avulavash lo mutter, but to cook it, he says, would be mutter, because we paskin that it's not considered cholav. Right? I mentioned before, it might be a maras ayin issue. It is a maras ayin issue, says, and therefore, lechatchila, you shouldn't do it. Koshakasu leil simin kuf zayin. De'ein bebishol mishum maras ayin, kivin de efsher shemavashlo. We learned this earlier in Sifkat and Zayin, that it's efsher levashlo, shemavashlo tzorch refuah. People see you cooking it. They might think, you're cooking it for a sick person, but eating it, you're not allowed to do, even though it's totally mutter, because people won't recognize. They see you're a healthy person, they won't realize that it's the davar that is that's mutter. Now, you want to say you should put shkedim nearby or do something that teaches you that it's really not cholav. I don't know if there's anything that can do that. Ends off the Shach avodas marshal v'isser v'heter, right? It's another sefer, Reish Klal Mem Vav, right? Da'afilu karish lahavi pirsha. Karish is not considered waste. Ela chashiv kecholav mamish. V'imbishlo b'basar afilu b'di'evid aser. He goes, even b'di'evid, you cook it, it's like 100% like milk. The congealed stuff is like milk. V'chein nira das Haran, who holds like Rashi and the Marshal. Okay, that's about 30 minutes, and I'm going to... I'm actually going to do the following. I'm going to send you Shiur, hopefully Shiur 4C, because I forgot it during Shiur 4b. I forgot to tell you some of the halacha l'maisa issue questions. That's like a 10-minute thing, and I'll try to send you Shiur 5b, which again will explain davar ha'maimid, and it's not batel, right? And it'll also explain to not barnad. I mean, I found it in I'm reading it from the Sefer Law, from the book Laws of Kasher, so the Kosher Kitchen. So that's not barnad and davar ha'maimid. We'll go through that Rashi, right? And we will, because Rashi, we saw Shitas Rashi here, but we're going to see Rashi quote some other things that are very valuable for what we need to discuss in the future. And then we'll do Sif Yud and Yud Aleph. I'll do that in Shiur 5b. And then we'll have a Zoom class, I don't know, Sunday or Monday, which will discuss some halacha l'maisa opinions related to these three sifim, but also we'll answer some of your questions. And as I said on the written note the other day, we're going to do Siman Pei Ches next week, and it's only 2 sifim, and try to get that done before Shavuos. So you'll have what to review. A good Shabbos.